It really shows how connected the physical, social, and spiritual are seen to be.
It certainly paints a picture of how deep these beliefs run. Okay, so let's talk about these sub-Mitupo. Different family names within one main Mitupo. What's going on there?
Right. So within a major Mitupo, like Zu or Moyo, you can find different branches or lineages developing over time. These often end up with distinct family names.
Why would that happen?
The exact reasons aren't always clear from the record, but, could be migrations, maybe some major historical event happened to one branch, or just the natural way families spread out over centuries.
So you might have several different surnames, but they all trace back to the elephant, for instance.
Precisely. And even with these subdivisions, that fundamental link to the original Mitupo is still seen as very strong.
Which affects marriage rules.
Right. Absolutely. That's why marriage within the same main Mitupo is generally a no-go, even if the two people have different subnames or surnames that came from that same original totem. It's still considered too close, potentially incestuous, because of that shared ancestral root.
That really underlines the strength of those original ties. Now, the Moyo totem came up specifically, the heart totem. There was a really interesting theory about a Portuguese trader.
Yes, the Moyo totem is a very prominent one, partly because it was linked to the historical Rosvi Mambo dynasty, a powerful kingdom.
Okay.
And the theory mentioned in the interview is pretty intriguing. It suggests that perhaps some people who are Vamoyo today, people of the Moyo totem, might actually trace their lineage back to a Portuguese trader.
A European trader? How?
Well, the idea is he settled in the area way back, and to integrate, to be accepted into society, he adopted the Moyo totem because it was so high status and widespread thanks to the Rosvi rulers.
Wow, that's quite a twist. A fascinating example of how identities can blend and shift over time.
It really is. Shows that culture isn't static. Okay, moving into the spiritual side a bit more, the interview introduced Mudzimu and Mondoro. What are they?
Right, Mudzimu and Mondoro.
These are key terms. Basically, Mudzimu is the spirit of any deceased person. So when an ordinary person dies, their spirit becomes a Mudzimu.
Okay, a general ancestral spirit.
Pretty much, but Mondoro, that's different. A mondoro is specifically the spirit of a deceased chief.
Ah, so there's a hierarchy in the spirit world too.
Definitely. Mondoro are seen as being of a higher order. They're associated with ruling, authority, being in charge. Mirrors the social structure in a way.
And for the Mo people, there's a specific mondoro linked to the mother's side.
Yes, that was mentioned. And there's a common belief, particularly in the northeast of Zimbabwe, that these powerful mondoro spirits don't actually reside in living people.